Alright, howdy ho folks, Multiversal Medium here for another episode of Dread Delusion. Hopefully one that, doesn't look as horrible as last episode's. If it still looks bad, I'm gonna have to tweak some other stuff off screen, but hopefully it's looking alright. Or well, as alright as these PS1 style textures can. Anyways, last episode, we finished up in Hallowshire. Basically everything, and we made our way over to the Endless Realm. A realm filled with undead, and we had some existential questions about ghosts as a whole. This episode, I guess we're gonna be, exploring the town of Sepulture, or whatever phrasing that actually is. But may as well start from the ground up in this inn. Let's talk back to the innkeeper. Hey look, Breather's back. How's that air taste? Pretty gross. Whatever. I'm looking for the Duchess. Do you know her? The Duchess? She's hard to pin down, that one. Few folk have even seen her since she came back from gallivanting around with pirates and mercenaries a few years back. Honestly, I am really curious about her backstory and how Vela even recruited her at the end of the day. Like, so far, the crew's been Vela and her band of mercenaries, the guy who taught her, the Umberian she met in a lab, and somehow she got an Endless on her crew. And I'm really curious about that last one right there. Obviously the mechanic steampunk dude, but we'll figure that out when we go to the Clockwork Kingdom. Rumor has it she's holed up in her old family manor that sits on the southern edge of the Endless Realm. This dude's name is Old Rotter. But good luck arranging a visit. She's a powerful cipher wizard and has a whole host of magical countermeasures to stop common plebs like us from wandering around her grounds. Aye, fair enough. What have you got to drink? Should be no surprise, we've got plenty of ghost wine. Recently, my punters have been hankering for some good old-fashioned mortal booze, though. Come across any Ryovian fine wine, I'll give you a good price for it. Ooh, good to know. Ghost wine. An ethereal wine with the quality of mist. Very valuable. Has little effect on the living, but can make spirits and the undead rather drunk. Okay, so being undead forever isn't horrible. You can still get drunk. And for some people, that's half a reason to live. And if you're one of those people, probably get into AA. No offense. Okay, can I ask some questions? I reckon I've got the time. We've not been busy for a good century or so. So do you guys just like sit here all day? Have a classic King of the Hill. Yep. Going on. Do you know of any work going? What's the story with this town? What was that about ghost booze? Let's just take it from the top. You know any work going? Not much work going outside the mausoleums, Breather. Still, you could try visiting the Queen's cenacle in the castle of Ribs. Maybe she'd have use of someone with a working nervous system. Otherwise, there's a flesh farm on the ridge north of here. As far as I know, it's just Penitent Thaw and that underling of hers. So perhaps they could use a hand. Wait. Your entire society is kind of built around the fact that they're growing mindless meat, and you only have two dudes handling the entire operation? Your entire species could go mindless due to hunger if this operation isn't handled well, or an entire war could break out again, and you've got 2 dudes running it, and that's it? Oh, that's great. Let me guess, the meat ain't so mindless, and that's why. What's the story with this town? Well, this here town's called Sepulcher. He cocks his head. You want the long version or the short? Exactly how long is long? He lets out a raspy chuckle, which unleashes a fleck of flesh. Dude, you should probably get that checked out. Don't worry, breather. I know us Endless can theoretically talk forever, but I won't kill you with boredom. Okay, then the long one. Years back, and I mean centuries ago, in the age of kings and castles, this used to be a peaceful kingdom called Verdant, filled with gothic folk, you know the types, kind of people that really abhor Christmas, but love Halloween, and are really confused by Nightmare Before Christmas. You know, those ones. Anyways, most folks still lived down on the world's surface, before it got blown up. So we were, pioneers of sort. Big, gothic pioneers. All these girlfriends had to go somewhere where the Simps wouldn't chase them. You know how it is. Our great wooden buildings rose above the pines, and our monarchs were just, and the air was sweet. Dude, you need commas in that sentence so badly. It's hard to tell when one thought ends and the other starts. Then our hooded king brought the curse upon Verdant. The living fought the dead. The bodies piled up. And the air weren't so sweet anymore. Racked with pain and eternally cold, us Endless have no use for comfortable things. Well, I guess that starts to describe why there's only one bed in the entire town. So they're constantly cold, there's nothing they can do about it. And they're constantly racked with pain. I still think they'd rather lounge around than stand. I mean, I suppose if your entire body's like pins and needles, kind of that numb feeling, laying can be difficult, but if that's your entire body 24/7, standing isn't that great either. Oh no, I'm certain there's some Endless out there that just wants to roll around on like a Alaskan king-sized bed, just writhing in agony the entire time. So those beautiful wooden buildings rotted away, replaced with hard stone. This town was Verdant no more, so we started calling it Sepulcher. The name stuck. I really need to look up how that's said. Actually, you know what? I'm leaning into it. Sepulcher-wise, sauced or whatever. Separino. We're just gonna say something different every single time. These days, Separinostopheles is little more than an outpost, for trading and the like. Most of us Endless live in those great mausoleums over yonder. And that big tower that looms over us? That's the Castle of Ribs, where the Queen lives. But she's not left in years. Cool. What was that about ghost booze? Well, we Endless have different constitutions from you breathers. Takes a different sort of beverage to really give us any kick. Ghost wine can be brewed like a potion, but the best vintages are ectoplasmic. When a ghost is created through trauma, sometimes nearby objects, or even drinks, pass over to the spirit realm too. That's the good stuff. Or, for an Endless, who's short on coin, there's always good old arsenic. I wouldn't recommend that for folk like you, though. That raises the question, though, like, you guys technically can get drunk, And you can get drunk via alchemy. That means there's a way to mess with the endless constitution via alchemy. I don't know what kind of feelings they get while drunk. I'm going to assume it's this usual drunken buzz-like state people get when alive. But if that's so, you'd think ghost wine would be really, really desired amongst the people, considering they're constantly cold and in pain. Then again, maybe it was centuries ago when they all turned undead. Now they don't even care. But still, that's an avenue to possibly find, I don't know if I'd exactly say a cure, but possibly a means to make them more comfortable? Alright, you want anything else? Nah, I think I'm good, man. I'll be going. So, what you got going on? What's this? A breather? Oh, marvelous. Please stay there for a second. Let me jot down some notes. Is your skin always that damp? Do you ever forget to breathe? What does it feel like when your hair grows? Dude, you've been undead for so long. You forgot what life was to the, most nuanced aspect. Oh. I almost want to take notes on you. Apologies. This must be quite overwhelming. I'm a playwright, down in a mausoleum, you see? But the scene has become so stagnant. Yeah, rot will do that to you, man. Kinda hard to grow when you guys who's supposed to be fertilizer ain't fertilizing, you know? Past century or so, pretty endless historical dramas have been in vogue. Except us writers never leave our tombs. And I'm convinced our work is full of inaccuracies. It's funny, the things you forget. The history books never mention the little things. Yeah. It's a major issue. It really is. And then you start adding the fact, archaeology is always done with a bias. Heavily biased. The fact that archaeologists only recently admitted there are female Vikings when they've had female skeletons in warrior tombs this entire time. Or the fact, the amount of archaeologists that quote-unquote discovered Troy. Yeah, it's always with a bias. So it's kind of hard to get a proper depiction and understanding of what happened centuries ago to different civilizations. Good luck, buddy. And you should take a lot of notes and probably go on a journey or something. Try to take notes of various cultures. Probably be really useful in general. Okay, we got a dude in armor, a ghost, and Sheila's sister, Shayla, as well as a buck. These are all good options. We'll take it left or right. Because I was born American. We don't do any of that manga nonsense of right to left. The rotten coffin. My favorite haunt. The ghost looks quite pleased with itself. You dare not think how many times it has told that joke. Okay, yeah, I was about to say, I like it. I want to get along with this dude. But I didn't even consider that dude's probably been saying that joke for the past 200 years. I'm certain if these dudes could smash that chair over this guy's head, they would have countless times by now. That's great. Okay, Shayla. I never entered a mausoleum back when I was breathing. So long ago. I knew I could never leave these trees. The air smelled so... Well, I can't recall how the air smelled anymore. It must have been good. So I dawdled, and the mausoleums filled up. And the thing about being endless, you see, is that the pain dulls everything. Anhedonia sets in. Pleasure seeps away. And these old trees only mock me now. I mean, fair, but what makes you think the mausoleum would be any different? Yeah, your joys have rotted, and apathy set in to anything and everything around you. But do you think the mausoleum would have changed that outlook? All you know is the mausoleum is a standard of living for endless such as yourself. So now you're just in a different rat race. Centuries long this time. The endless lurks in the corner, keeping a watchful eye on the other patrons. Ooh, question mark, question mark, question mark. It's my rival. Get lost, breather. You're not interested in what I'm selling. Charm. Maybe I am interested in what you're selling. Ooh, only needed 20, nice. Success. He studies you a moment. Well, well, a mortal with a deviant appetite? Listen, man, you don't need to bring up my browser history in this. I know what I'm into. I know it ain't vanilla. But you don't need to bring it up. Ooh, the flesh broker. Oh, it wasn't my rival. Would have been a lot simpler if you were just my Pokemon rival. Okay, alright, listen up. Because I'll only say this once. And if you breathe a word of it to any of the Queen's lackeys, I'll see to it that you're next on the menu. So, I'm a broker for sentient flesh. The thinking stuff. Oh. Well, am I above cannibalism in this game? Am I? No, wait, it's not guaranteed it's cannibalism. It may just be another sentient species. There's a few of them in this game. How sentient are the silkworms? How sentient's anything? Where's the line? Huh. Anyways, you see, most endless feed on penitent thaws mindless meat. It's seen as more ethical than eating your kind. But I'll be damned if it doesn't taste like slop. Of course, there's a black market for the stuff. Now this is interesting. He has a taste still. A majority of these endless are just kind of very numb to everything. And even if there is a difference in taste, he wouldn't really care. That's probably why mindless meat kind of got such a foothold. But also I feel like there'd be a lot of almost a lot of voices against it, considering people, when comparing the two tastes, find thinking meat better. And in a endless existence, you'd think they'd hold on to any and every pleasure they could. That's why I was surprised ghost booze isn't honestly super expensive for the elites and everyone's trying to get drunk. So this is interesting. And once more, mindless meat was introduced centuries ago, so maybe it was at the start, but people are just apathetic as time goes on, so maybe they don't really care about holding on to a single type of pleasure like mindful meat. So how about it, breather? Fancy a taste of your own kind? Actually, I've changed my mind, or that's disgusting, you're a monster. Kinda surprised I can't say yes. Open world game, why won't you let me eat people? Fallout lets me eat people. Come on. Game devs, get it through your head. Sometimes people want to commit one of the worst moral atrocities in existence. Come on. Actually, I've changed my mind, man. He chuckles. Thought so. But remember, breather, you say anything about this, it will be the last thing you say. Fair, man. Fair. Also, like, I don't know. The ethics of cannibalism, honestly, in my mind, are case by case. Obviously, I don't accept someone like Jeffrey Dahmer, but the Donner Party, I can't honestly say are outright in the wrong considering the circumstance. And I can't say whether or not I would agree with what was happening or disagree with what was happening with the Donner Party. Outright, they were in a starvation scenario with human carcasses near them that were preserved in the ice. I'm not surprised a good number of them faltered and eventually decided to. I don't know if I could say I would or wouldn't, but I think a majority of individuals can't say that because they haven't experienced it. Not something you can actually empathize or sympathize with. So, yeah, morality of cannibalism. It's really a lot more harder to discuss than you'd think, depending on circumstance. Anyways, book time. On Remembrance by Curious. Curious? Whatever. 1278. When I was just 10 and 2 years of age. 12? You mean 12? While exploring in the forest of Verdant, my brother and I stumbled upon a clearing full of fleeting starlights. That long extinct flower that bloomed just once a year. My brother stood, smiling amid those flowers. In one smooth motion, they rippled around him, each unfurling their petals in some ancient rhythm. Tiny droplets, emitting a pale white light, drifted upwards like frozen tears. For a moment, the whole forest seemed to be full of them, glittering in union, reflected in my brother's eyes. But this memory, like so many others, is little more than a dream. I can recount colorful prose, but further details escape me. What was the color of my brother's hair? What did his face really look like? What was his name? For all of us endless, Verdant exists in this dream state. We fill our memoirs with elegant prose, but we argue over the details. It has been hundreds of years since our lungs could swell with that sweet air, and between then and now, between Verdant and the realm of the endless, there is trauma that stains our minds like spilled ink. I can recall another memory of my brother. I see his face covered in blood. I see his mouth locked in a silent scream. I see raging fires reflected in his eyes. For that was the day I devoured his still living body. If Verdant is our dream, the years of devouring are our nightmare. Though we stage plays and write novels of what happened then, few speak of our personal guilt. That hunger, that rage, that blood mist, the remembrance comes to us in pangs of sorrow. But there are yet others who deny its tragedy, who justify their hunger and their deeds with flimsy arguments. Those who would revive the cadaver crusades and see us feast upon flesh once more. Those who have allowed themselves to forget. So, reader, I beseech you, do not languish in the sweetness of your dreams. You are not willing to recall the horrors of your nightmares. We all carry a burden of guilt. To deny it is to relinquish the last shred of our humanity, and then we are truly lost. You know what? That offers a lot of insight about the whole cannibalism thing with the flesh broker dude And I'm glad that was there. Because, yeah, that explains why everyone was basically on board about the whole mindless meat thing. For some reason, I just kind of assumed everyone was kind of okay with eating people. And I don't know why I assumed that. That was making a butt out of me and them. It's kind of a given they may not morally think it's okay. You okay? You purple. You different. Ah, breather. Welcome to the Moldy Cauldron. You're my first living customer in months. Or has it been years? Time flies when you're my age. Yeah, it's something people tend not to talk about when it comes to immortality and the like. Your sense of time kind of ages with you. I don't know what the age of you guys watching this may be, but the years start going faster as you get older, and they don't really stop, because you're comparing them to all your memories of countless other years. And I cannot imagine what a torture being several centuries old would be. Just watching things just pass by the wayside. Not even aware if you're interacting or mingling with it. Let's see here. Ooh, I'm looking for the Duchess. Ah, yes. Everyone's heard of the Duchess. Only, I don't think anyone's seen her in years. Last I heard, she was flying around with that crazy bunch of breathers. What were they called? Dull stars? Dim lights? The freaking hilarious, because, like, she's 100% not trying to make a joke about them. She legit just doesn't care. Anyway, her family manor is to the south. If you're looking for her, I'd head there. But I hear the place is crawling with magical skeletons. So be careful. How's business going? Business? I mostly just sit here and watch the rodents chew on my feet. That's... Why don't you guys keep pets? You know, I know why you don't keep pets. Because outright, it would be really annoying to try and keep several pets over several centuries and several generations. You'd stop caring when it's no longer princess. It's princess's great 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 grandchild. Really hard to keep caring at that point. By the way, why don't you guys eat rats? We had the fact that canonically rats are in universe. Why don't you guys eat them? As far as I'm aware, that's the closest thing we have to another animal that we've heard about. I don't think I've heard of any other type of animal besides monsters, but we have rats in universe. So that's interesting. A while back, things used to be a bit more exciting. Every now and again, some folk from Hallowshire would come to trade. They'd always look petrified and would never tarry long. But breather goods fetch a good price down in the mausoleums. Recently, breather business has dried up. I've been told it's because of something called an Hashiati Union. But I have no idea what that is. It's fair. 100% fair. I feel like a majority of people in the Apostatic Union don't comprehend the politics and the various channels and things you need to do. Do not blame you. Do not join it. Is there a house for sale in Sepulchre? Looking to invest in a property market full of undying old-timers. Eh, breather? Shopkeeper chuckles to herself. Oh, wait. You're serious? Well, I think I had an old Sepulchre house deed knocking about in the old shop inventory for that old shack down the western entry bridge. Just next to me is the only property station in the whole town. You need to use that if you want to upgrade, furnish, or decorate the house. How do I maintain the house? Just next to me is the only property station in Zebakaweister. You'll need to use that if you wanted to upgrade, furnish, or decorate it. And judging by the state of the old shack, I'm sure you'd be wanting to. Thanks for your help. I know how housekeeping works. Sure thing, Breather. Anything else? Let me see what you have for sale. Ooh, shroom wine. Rusty bow, if we hadn't found one. Thinking cap. Ah, I want it. Hats of this kind are valued by wizards and other wielders of the arcane. Cipher stitched into the lining. Stimulates thoughts and access to magical powers. Ooh, fancy. Oh, but they have a house deed. And furnishings. Oh, and magic. Slows the movement speed of nearby enemies. Variants of the spell were banned by the Inquisition after the inhabitants of an entire Bayon University were slowed to a snail's pace for a year. It's the kind of nonsense you'd get going in like Daggerfall or Morrowind with the spell crafting system, like just mass slow freaking for a large amount of time. That's hilarious. I love it. I love magic crafting in games. Summoner's earring. A dangling earring in the shape of a skull, carved from a piece of real bone. This macabre accessory grants power over the dead, allowing its wearer to summon an additional skeleton in battle. We can frickin' summon skeletons. Aw, heck yeah, man. Where is that spell? I want it. So I should probably sell some stuff. What was it? Throwing knives were not really worth upgrading into shurikens. Yeah, they really aren't. Not if I'm selling them. Because the recipe is basically 2 throwing knives equates to 1 shuriken, but throwing knives sell for 2 each and shurikens sell for 3. Let's just offload all that. Lovely. Now we should have enough money for a nice little house deed. Oh, heck yeah. Forever house. Hecky to the yeah. And, let's get some furnishing. Ooh, fancy. And let's go check out our house first. Actually, let's explore town. We'll check out the house later. I'm hoping, with my heart of hearts, as opposed to the various ones I keep in a jar around me, that there may be a... Oh, is this like a drawbridge? Where's that go? Huh. Maybe the castle? There may be a teleporter, so we can go back to the teleport hub, considering this is the main town here. Because, yeah, I've... as I've been told in the comments by a lovely fan, I missed something in Pwill, and I've just never grabbed it this entire time. And that something is hecka useful. Ooh, what do we got going on here? Ooh, fancy. Ooh, you got your own coffin made of gold and stuff? Fancy. Ooh. Ah. Oh, it's just a person. Oh. Kinda hoping this would just kind of keep spiraling upwards forever as I just entered a weird fugue state of awe and existential dread, but not every game can be a surrealist nightmare. Anyways, dude with a weirdly human-toned mask, what's up? I must say, lordship can be quite a curse. I own the deed to the mines in the southwest. Between you and I, it's worth a fortune. But a few months ago, it simply ceased to produce, as if out of thin air. Dude, haven't you been mining this mine for centuries? What do you mean out of thin air? You're on a floating island. Do you think the mines aren't going to dry up? I'm sorry to hear that, or I have no interest in your Burgoy's concerns. The Burgoy's? Whatever. That's a word most people don't say aloud, but I'm so sorry to hear that. Now I sent a couple servants down to the mines to see what the matter is. As you'd expect, they both split on me, took their pay and disappeared. Okay, like, I get you guys are undead. I really do. But why do you just assume maybe they didn't get sliced in two and now can't come back? Like, I was going to say spiders or something. I feel like spiders would be a horrible, horrible existence for something like an endless. Because, like, spider venom is meant to, like, paralyze and slowly melt your innards. Like, quite literally melt you. But I don't know if these dudes would survive the melting or be paralyzed even. But possibly just wrapped up. And that would be a horrible existence right there. I don't think there's any giant spiders in this, so I don't think they just got caught in like a bunch of cocoons, or... Would those be considered cocoons? What would you consider what the heck spiders wrap up in thread? Bento boxes. Yeah, spiders have their own bento boxes. Anyways, every day that my mines are operating, I'm losing gold. What a mess. Tell me more about the mines. Tell me about yourself. I must be off. Well, as curious as I am about this dashing undead, tell me more about the mines. Forgive me. I am Romulus Sharon the Seventh, Lord and heir to the southwestern tract. The lands I own are rich in resources, the finest in the world. I employ merchants who sell them for me. Even the crown buys my ores. Is this dude just like role-playing? I think the actual reason all the Endless love play so much is they kind of just get to roleplay as different things than a rotting corpse. And at the end of the day, I can't blame them. But now I just want the setting where, like, it's a bunch of undead, but they're just cosplayers with, like, really good suits because it's their only hobby and they've had the hobby for, like, 2 centuries. So you get, like, the really awesome, like, cosplays at a convention. Someone's like, oh, that's amazing. I wonder who the heck's in that. And it's like, nah, man, that's a carcass in there. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, it's one of the undead dudes. You can tell because of how good it is. That's just an undead dude. That's all he does. My mines are to the southwest. The ores are a valuable export. Fine ore stones fetch a devilish price in the Clockwork Kingdom. I feel like almost anything fetches a devilish price in the Clockwork Kingdom. The dude's logic went haywire like centuries ago. Like 100%. I think the entire economy is kind of on its head there. Are you just shipping them rocks? I'm pretty certain you're just shipping rocks, aren't you? I've likely owned my mines since before you were born. I like how he said likely. He has no clue how old I am. Let me put it this way, dude. If you've owned it for a century or since the Endless came about, yes. Yes, you have. Although I don't involve myself much in its going-ons, there are people beneath me who were handling those trivialities on site. Just, dude. Like, I can't blame him for easing into this role after so long, but like, dude, how do you know anything's going on? As far as you're aware, you're just occasionally getting paid for something that you don't even know is down there. Breather, perhaps you could look into it for me? I'd be happy to help, or for a fee, of course. Ooh, charm 40. Success, he scowls. I'm afraid 20 gold is all I'll offer. I'm rather tight at the moment. Aren't you rich? Bugger. Mines are in the southwestern edge of the region. The elevator is likely out of operation, but you can make your way down by a series of bridges. Return when you've solved this fiasco, and I'll produce a suitable reward. You have my word, breather. Every day that my mines aren't operating, I'm losing gold. What a mess. I must be off. After all, I have no obligation to do that. I'm just gonna split with the money. Heck yeah. No, I'll do that eventually. But yeah, let's keep looking around. Trying to hopefully find one of those little teleport majigs. This looks like a airship dock, so I don't think it's gonna be that. That looks like a bridge, so I don't think it's that. Actually, no, wait. A teleporter is like a bridge. It's a bridge between places here and far. Just instantaneous. So there is a chance it is a bridge. But only if you use idiotic logic, which I am actually pretty decent at. That being said, not seeing it. You look like you're the blacksmith merchant or whatever. In days past, I fought with Lord Ryder in the Cadaver Crusades, who would feast on the flesh of mortals, such as yourself. That's a weird opening line. Like, dude, I'll admit, as a guy, I've never had the creepy dude at the bar try to, like, hit me up with a one-liner immediately and just fail miserably. But I feel like it was kind of like just leading with that. That's not how you make a good first impression. Do not say that to people you don't know in the future. At least not right away. Buy me dinner first. He smirks. Nothing personal, you understand? Sure. I like how everyone in here, because they do deal with living people, wear masks. That being said, I don't know if it's specific to the people in this town, or just people in the Endless Realm, and it's a cultural thing. But such days of glory are over. Now I must eat the mindless slop. Penitent thaw brews up in those flesh farms of hers. Cool. Good to know that you are one of the dudes that really don't have any moral... Ooh, this looks like an interesting landmark. Moral issues with murdering and eating people alive. Fresher the better, right? Okay, that's probably like... Pretty certain that's the Castle of Ribs or whatever. So that would mean possibly over here. Honestly, I'm going to be majorly surprised if there isn't a teleporter right near this town. Because it feels like the perfect spot for one. Right dab in the center of this island. But then again, I've been plenty surprised many a time. Ooh, what's over here? Ooh, the underbelly with throwing knives and an underbelly. Ooh, stamina potions and wrought iron fences. Fancy. All right. I dig this. Oh, we just got some... Okay. So we got a possible skill check to get in whatever the heck's going on over here. What are you looking at in there? Just looks like a house, but I'm curious. Oh, well, skill check passed. Myish. Okay. Looks fairly abandoned, but so does everywhere else. What do we got here? Faded Band of Rejuvenation. This ring allows health to regenerate slowly based on the wearer's regen stat. A rare trinket indeed. Damage from centuries of use has dulled the once potent enchantment. That is effing awesome. I was not expecting to find something like that here. But I do love the fact that I did. It's of course hidden away in some random area in the Endless Realm. Probably a antique worth like several people's lives. Because yeah, like, gosh, what was it? When the first episodes, we got a mass-produced ring of health or whatever. It's like, of course they'd mass-produce it. It's an enchanted item that kind of keeps you going, you know? Why wouldn't they? But it's also, since it was mass-produced, it's pretty low quality all around. So yeah. Gosh. Guess we're gonna check out our little shack or whatever. Ooh, homeowner. Nice. Nice. Gosh. And we even have the guards patrol directly outside. Lovely. So, how come mine's the only house made out of wood? Oh, there's like a weird roof thing that reminds me of the teleporters. Huh. Okay. Tell you what, guys. I'm gonna go check the one building we didn't check besides the castle. The, yeah, the airship dock or whatever. I highly doubt there's anything here, but we may be able to get a nice vantage. Hey, what's up? So, let's take a looky-loo. Curious how good the draw distance is. I'm also curious about... Let's see here. Nah, it'd be this one. Do I have a spy? Yeah, I do have a telescope. So, telescope. Let's see, what's that? That is a cartographer. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm curious about the draw distance, and obviously we're not able to see small enemies or anything, but we are able to make out bigger landmarks and the like. I'm just hoping we can find teleporter. But if not, this episode, off screen, I'm gonna run back to Quill real quick. And just go grab that one thing. Not really seeing it anywhere. It's a bummer. Really is. I mean, I suppose I could check out the Castle of Ribs, I believe that one is. Was that you during life? Actually, I just hope it's a random dude's portrait you got. I hope it wasn't you. I hope that's just a random dude's portrait. Welcome to the Winged Merchants Guild, Breather. What you after? How can I get my own airship? He clicks what's left of his tongue. Unfortunately, Breather, you won't get one without a writ of permission from Ryova. And trust me, they don't give them out easy. Oh, farewell. Oh, we'll figure that out eventually. But that eventually, I guess, is not right now. Oh yeah, I guess check this out. So I really would have assumed the teleporter would be in town. But that is my personal... Oh, will you look at that? Nice paintings. Personal opinion based on... Ooh, look at you, fancy pants. Opinion based on other open world games. What you got to say? Aha! A mortal traveler? Unusual to see one of your kind within the realm of the endless. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Castle of Ribs. Pray tell, my friend, what brings you to our kingdom? The Siniskull. I am here to visit the Queen of Silver. Insatiable curiosity. I want to learn how to cheat death. Insatiable curiosity. Aha! I am familiar with that drive to discover. That raw, unbidden need to know what lies beyond the horizon. I traveled a little bit my own youth, you know. So many hundreds of years ago, when I had a beating heart. Sky realms were very different then. Let me tell you. How were they different? Or fascinating, but I wanted to ask something else. How were they different? Well, this was only a century after the world rent. Everything was in a state of flux. Every day, new kingdoms were blossoming and dying like winter roses. But tell me about the wonders. Tell me about the horrors. Can you remember what caused the world rend? Or fascinating, but I wanted to ask about something else. Tell me about the wonders, Grandpa. Why, of course. Have you ever seen a god? Yeah, I met one in a cave a while back. Kind of felt bad for the bugger. Just in a cave. Literally a divinity. Just holed up in a cave. Didn't even think it was bad. Just kind of liked it in there. Dumber than the rocks it was sitting next to be honest. Well-meaning, but stupid. Oh yeah, there was the other one that was locked in a cage. If the first one was dumber than a bag of rocks, that one was, well-meaning, but stupider. Adorable, though. Really adorable. He had big feet. Anyways, I saw one once, drifting through the fog, as vast as a mountain, dozens of eyes, each as bright and round as the moon. Like, legit as big as the moon, or, like, perspective-wise, wow, that's as big as the moon. When I saw it, I opened my mouth, and then the most beautiful hymn spilled out. I can't sing under normal circumstances, but my voice was like honey and thunder that day. Tell me about the horrors. I would rather not recall such things, but I saw an entire town consumed in silver flames, while laughing priests circled above like vultures. I saw a conscriptor, harvester, pulling screaming men into its maw and turning them into mindless engines of war. Ooh. Is that kind of akin to what the heck the Apostatic Union's doing with the drones? Because, like, I know the High Confessor is, like, in a Iron Maiden sort of deal. Still alive, but constantly tortured. But the little drone dudes who are, like, flying around with wings imbued with cipher magic, they have a bit of ego, but obviously they're, like, mutilated now carcasses to beget the Apostatic Union's will. So I'm curious. Are those conscriptor harvesters something that the Apostatic Union eventually salvaged and started using? Or is that something we may never come across? So curious. I saw a library whale pulled slowly apart by iron hooks, and butcher archivists scrambling through its guts for forgotten tomes. That's weirdly fascinating. You guys got whales that have just forgotten and ancient knowledge in their stomachs that are basically hunted for such. That's I love it, but it's weird. Can you remember what caused the world rend? I never knew what caused it, but I remember the searing flash that stained the sky. I remember the impact, which shook our tombs and scattered the islands. Back then, the Endless were one of the few people in the Sky Realms. It got a lot more crowded after that, with all the refugees. Fascinating, but I wanted to ask you something else. I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability. Do you have any theories about the Entombed One? I seek an audience with the Queen of Silver. Can I ask about yourself? Can I ask about the Endless? Let's ask about the Endless first. Our kind must seem strange to you. I'm happy to indulge your curiosity. How were the Endless created? It was the work of the Hooded King, my former liege. What happened? Why didn't you talk him out of it? We don't have enough info for that even being an option right now. What happened? The Hooded King summoned Wiccans and Theurgers. Theurgers? The Urges. Whatevs. Listen, the writers of this game had a thesaurus, and they used it to the best of their abilities, and I love the various words they use, but some of these words are things I've only ever, read, and other words are ones I've never seen, like last episode. From across the Sky Realms, they tried 100 different potions and ceremonies and spells to make him immortal, but none worked. Till eventually, they hit upon some kind of ritual. Dark, strange magic, like nothing I've ever witnessed. It involved striking a bargain and a sacrifice. Ooh, spooky, scary, fancy. A bargain? A sacrifice? Yeah. A bargain. They made a contract with a god from some forgotten corner of the world. I only saw it once, as I pressed my eye to the keyhole of the throne room. It was a twisted thing of hunger and darkness, hunched upon the marble floor like a creature of nightmares. This is weirdly fascinating because the Endless came about before the world end. So the fact that this god is forgotten way back then, I mean, I know the Wiccans were kind of they were considered outcasts by the Emberians. So god worship and all that, as far as we're aware, was fairly stamped out like the apostatic union now. But there were still stories and stuff, and although the Emberian culture, as far as we know, kind of encapsulated the globe. We're assuming it's a globe. We don't know. The world may be a different shape, like a D20. This god is from a forgotten corner of that still. Hageth is well known. Heck, what is it? The dude who revives us if we die claims to have once been obscenely well known. They are basically main pantheon level. And the world rend is the only reason they're not well known anymore. So this dude is obscenely hidden, maybe even more than that guy that constantly revives us. So it's interesting. A sacrifice? His only daughter, the princess. As the ritual reached its apex, she was to be drowned in a pool of mercury. Gosh dang, man. Whoa, that's... Oh gosh, wow. So, for those of you that don't know, which I hope is almost all of you, if not all of you, mercury is a very unique substance, especially when handled. It's highly toxic. Do not handle it. But it's so light, even though it's a liquid, that you basically don't feel anything while touching it. But it has a means of like seeping into your pores, and it is toxic. It will usually cause long-lasting effects later down the road if you do handle it unsafely. I can't imagine getting a pool of this stuff. Heck, even an entire bucket of it would probably be difficult, at least nowadays. But an entire pool of it. And as we know, like, drowning is not exactly pleasant. But you feel drowning. If you ever snarfed water, you know how unpleasant that is. I am so curious about the weird sensory aspect of drowning in a pool of mercury. And I don't know why nobody's ever brought it up. That must be obscenely odd. Because like I said, it's, even though you're interacting with it, it's very, it feels like you're not interacting with almost anything. It's, oh my gosh, that's, and that just going down your airways, like obviously your body would be in pain from not getting air or something filling it up, but oh gosh, that's a really, really grotesque way to go, while also maybe, I'm so flabbergasted by that. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I have other questions for you. I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability. Where do we go from there? I think more about himself is just the Skyrealm stuff. Do you have any theories about the Entombed One? Yes. Have you experienced one of the recent earthquakes? A terrible business, that. I have reason to believe that the Entombed One is the lingering specter of the Hooded King, getting his revenge on the kingdom that left him for dead. Perhaps someone needs to find him and persuade him to abandon his vendetta by force, if necessary. I can try. You would do that? Apparently I just signed up for solving the Endless Realm's biggest issue for the past, was it like 400 years? Okay. You just fully just like let any dude walk in and be like, yeah, I can try to solve that horrible skeleton in the closet you've had issues with for so long. Oh yeah, sure, here's the key. Oh. You don't need my resume? No, you can just go do it. Anyways, I would be in your debt. Here, take this. It's a key to the crypt beneath the castle. The Entombed One is somewhere down there. To be fair, as we've kind of been made aware of via all the NPCs we've been talking to throughout this entire episode, they're kind of numb to everything in a weird way. So him just like handing it off is weirdly on character. Hell, and well met, my mortal friend. How may I be of assistance today? I seek an audience with the Queen of Silver. Alas, the Queen isn't accepting visitors at this time. Or at any time, really. She is withdrawn. Most days she will speak to me, and me alone. Oh, okay. Perhaps I can put her in a better mood. I don't see any guards. How are you going to stop me, or... It's a shame, I traveled a long way to see her. I feel like the third one is just being like, okay, I'm outie. Second one's kind of dickish, not gonna lie. First one, I feel like maybe is the start of a quest, so we're gonna go with that. Perhaps I can put her in a better mood. I doubt it, but I suppose I have nothing to lose by letting you try. Go ahead. If you can raise her out of her depression, I will be, without exaggeration, eternally grateful. The Cynical stands aside, allowing you passage deeper into the Castle of Ribs. Oh, cool. Oh, she's probably the queen of silver right there. That's what that looks like. Lucky to the I'm curious if she's called the queen of silver because it's actually the princess who was ground in mercury, to be honest. That's gonna be my guess. But also, all this stuff is probably gonna have to wait till later. Because one, it's been an episode, guys. But two, off screen, I need to go to Quill. And I'll probably cut that in at the start of next episode. And three, that seems important, not gonna lie. I mean, like, I don't have a jester hat. I got nothing. Nothing to cheer her up. Absolutely, positively nothing. I don't even have fancy shoes on. Anyways, I'm probably gonna do side questy stuff. I know well, I don't know, but I'm assuming she isn't exactly main quest because we need to go to the Duchess for the main quest. But I would expect she's kind of similar, as is the Entombed one. Kind of similar to this region's giant god searching. Oh, what's up, dudes? Just kind of almost like glitched out and coming out of the ground. Did I see that right? Whatever. I'm assuming. Ooh. Oh, okay. Ooh. Okay. It's similar to the quest where we decided Hallowshire's fate, basically. Maybe another entrance to this on the other opposite side. Weird. Anyways, so we're gonna put it off, do a lot more exploration, some side quests. You guys should kind of know the MO by now with how Hallowshire went. So with that in mind, I'm gonna call it here. It's been fun, guys, and I'll talk to you in another episode of Dread Delusion. But until then, ciao.